Hi friends! So today I have 5-ish frugal wins for you and 1.5-ish fails. Let's do the fails first. In last week's video, I told you that I paid for an entire month of Zumba because it would save me a little money, but only if I went every single time. And I also told you the reason that I hadn't paid for it monthly before is that the classes are on Tuesday and Thursday. And on Tuesday, one of my work responsibilities is I have to get the newspaper out for the week. And I can only go to class if I get the newspaper out early and finish my day. The universe conspired against me today, per Zumba, not exactly per work. I had the newspaper ready at 3 p.m. and then there was a fire that came across the police scanner. A big field was on fire locally and it was like getting close to houses, and so I had to go out to where that was and watch the firefighters fight this blaze and talk to the neighbors and stuff like that, and essentially hold the newspaper to get this breaking news story in. By the time I was done, I'd missed my Zumba class. So I didn't get to do that. I don't really consider that my fault. I mean, that's certain. My work is more important. My work is what pays me money so that I can pay for Zumba classes. And that was my responsibility as editor to go cover that. I certainly don't regret doing that. But now unless I hit every single other Zumba class this month, I will not have saved money by paying for the full month. So let's hope there aren't any more fires. All right, fail-ish number 2. I lost my Fitbit for a few days, or more specifically, Fairy stole my Fitbit and gave it back to me a few days later. I'm not the type of person that loses things. I'm a very organized person, but it just disappeared for a few days and then it came back. So it's less of a frugal fail, more just a life fail. But yeah, there's that. And it drove me a little nuts because, like I said, I'm not the type of person that loses things. I lose maybe 1 or 2 things a year at max because I'm very specific about my items and I try to take good care of the things that I own. And so I swear to you, fairies or something nefarious just stole it, and then, before y'all think I'm too crazy. All right, my frugal wins. However, I filmed a sponsored video this week, my very first one. It will have already come out probably by the time you guys see this frugal wins and fails video, and I hope you really liked it because I think it's awesome, and I am going to get to put a little bit of money towards my debt because I did that partnership with that company. All right, number 2, I made apple chips for the first time in my life. I love apple chips, and I don't know why I always thought they were a super complicated thing to make. They're not, and you don't need a food dehydrator. You can just do it in the oven, and it literally requires no ingredient other than apples. So I had bought like a 3-pound bag of Gala apples, and sometimes I go through all of them in a week, and sometimes I don't. These just went bad kind of fast. Usually apples actually last like 2 weeks in my house, but they'd gotten a little like wrinkly on the top and a little soft, and I didn't want to eat them. And I cannot tell you how many times I've thrown away like 3+ apples because they've gotten old and soft and not crisp and crunchy in the way you want to eat them before. And I will never ever have to do that again because I looked up a tutorial online on how to make apple chips, and it was really easy to do. You just put them in, you slice them really thin, and you don't need a mandolin for that either. I just used a regular knife, and I actually, I thought it required really, really thin slices. It actually has to be there has to be a little thickness to it. And so there were all these mental things that I had thought about making this food that made it expensive. And I've bought apple chips before and they're so expensive, and I love them. They're delicious. The only problem is now I know how to make them. They're amazing. They're delicious. The only problem is now is keeping myself from eating all of them. But I was able to save all those apples. I also saved some bananas that were going bad by making energy bites with peanut butter and rolled oats and honey and a little bit of vanilla, I think. I just found a recipe on Pinterest, and it was awesome. A lot of times I like to eat bananas when they're green still, or on the green side of yellow. And once they get kind of dark yellow and start to brown, I'm not really interested in eating them fresh anymore. Banana bread is an option, yes, but I am trying to be on a low carb, very low sugar diet, and banana bread unfortunately goes bad very fast. You have to eat it in just a couple of days, and that's a lot of carbs that I'm trying not to put it into my body. That's also other ingredients you have to buy. So when I found this Energy Bites recipe, I decided to try it, and I absolutely love it, and I ate all of them, and so I was able to save the bananas and not have a bunch of extra carbs go into my body that were unnecessary, just so I could save the food, because it easily could have just been wasted in my body, same as wasted in the trash. So awesome. I have 2 new ways to save fruit that is going bad. I love fruit, so that's awesome that I have kind of backup plans for that, and I actually cannot wait to get apples that start to go bad again so I can make more apple chips, because they're so good. I'm just and ooh, they only lasted like 2 days, man. Alrighty. And they were easy to do just over last weekend when I was working on stuff around the house and filming and stuff, because it was just at a real low heat in the oven for a long time. So it was fine. And it's cold right now, so it was kind of heating my house a little, and I turned off my heater. It was perfect. Okie dokie. Alright. Number 3. I did not eat out for lunch this week. I did eat out for dinner once, but we're not going to talk about that. It's fine. I used a gift card. I did not eat out for lunch this week. I made some cheeseburger soup last weekend. I had 3 mason jars full that I brought in for lunch Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was delicious. I used the Recipe Critics recipe, which you can find if you just search cheeseburger soup, the Recipe Critic. I'm not gonna like make a video on it or anything, because I didn't make this recipe up. I give all credit to her for that. I didn't alter her recipe at all, so her. Recipe Critic cheeseburger soup, fan-freaking-tastic. And I reserve my freakins for things that are deserve freakins. Okay, so I had that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I just made a pot over the weekend. I'd eaten it a couple times then. It does get a little thin the longer it is. On Saturday and Sunday, it was amazing. And then on Monday, it just got a little thinner. Tuesday, a little thinner. But it was still really, really good. But just, I'm glad I didn't make extra so I could eat it all week. But I think by Friday, it would have lost a little. I think I wouldn't have been so good anymore. But I made do on, I'd also made egg drop soup over the weekend that I had leftovers from. So I brought that in for lunch on Thursday and had that with like clementines and some cheese sticks and other stuff, and boiled eggs. I also did boiled eggs this weekend. I was really trying to make sure that I had enough snacks so I wouldn't be tempted to like go out and eat. And then on Thursday night, I realized, well, I don't have anything for lunch tomorrow. Do I go out to eat? Do I try to go without eating? Which Friday was a really busy day. My first appointment was at 9 a.m. for an interview. The last appointment was at like 5:30. So it was a long day. And I remembered I'd made some crock pot chicken earlier in the week. So what I ended up doing was chopping that up, putting it on some low carb tortillas with some cheese, and just wrapping that up and putting it in a to-go container and bringing that for lunch on Friday, and it was absolutely delicious. It wasn't fancy, but it was completely free, so that was perfect. I mean, it was free because I used ingredients I had already bought instead of going out to purchase more. So that was good. I'm very proud of myself, because often if I don't make, like on Sunday, if I don't make lunches for my whole week, I'll encounter problems because I'll forget to like fix something the night before. That's why I meal prep a week in advance. But yeah, I did it. I did it, and I wasn't hungry all week. It was good. It was good. I do need to refill my snack drawer though. Okay. Let's see. I'm doing it old school today because I forgot to email myself my list off my phone. All right, number 4. When I went out to the fire, I was wearing my Clark's boots that I spent so much money on that I've told you about before. And they totally survived me walking around in a burnt up field, which I was a little worried they wouldn't. Part of my job is like going out into it, and it was a brush fire. So it went across a lot of acres of land, and many of the acres that it went across were like filled with prickle bushes and stuff, and those don't die in fires somehow. So I was having to like trudge out to get to the areas that were actually on fire. I was having to trudge out into the field, and I was really worried that my boots were going to be ruined, and they were expensive, and they're my only winter work shoes. And so I was worried, but when I got home, I was able to wipe off all of the char, or like what's that called? Ash, and just kind of buff them a little and they're fine. They didn't get torn up by the pricker bushes. They didn't get stained by the ash. I'm so excited about how well those leather boots are doing, and they were able to protect my feet. They were easy to move around in out there. They were a really, really good investment. I'm excited about those. If I'd worn sneakers out there, I would have gotten stuck and I would have ruined the sneakers. Absolutely. All right. And finally, number 5 is that I did my first live Instagram video today, I guess. It was just a couple hours ago. You guys will be seeing this at least a week after the fact, but I just kind of had a random tear. Today's actually Rory's 5-year adoptiversary. According to Facebook, I got her in Columbus, Mississippi from a shelter 5 years ago today. And so I just decided to hop on Instagram real quick and try out their live function. A lot of my YouTube friends have been using that lately, and it's really fun to engage with them in that way. And so I just hopped on, no warning, and I ended up being on there for an hour. We were, I think at max there were like 35 people watching. I'm sure it rotated some, but I'm really happy that I got to engage with you guys that way, and I'm absolutely going to do that again. I ended up Rory ended up doing tricks for the people that were watching, and I ended up answering a bunch of questions about like frugal living and all sorts of stuff, and my perspectives on things, and it was just a lot of fun to do. And so I'm absolutely going to do that again. If you're not following me on Instagram, I am at Go Budget Girl, GOBUDGETGIRL, all in one. That's also my Facebook address, facebook.com/Go Budget Girl, because I'm probably going to do Facebook lives too, because Facebook records when you do live, and so other people can watch it if they don't catch you there. Instagram, it just goes away, but that's fine because I cried anyway. I was asked about a sad thing, so I cried on the internet, but it didn't save it, so there's that. Okay, so those are my 5 frugal things and 2 frugal fails. I would love to hear about yours. By the way, my replacement candle from Yankee came in. It's the Sand and Sun. It smells amazing and it throws amazing, and I totally owe that to you guys, because I never would have thought to contact a company and say, hey, your candle doesn't smell, dudes. And when I did, they totally replaced it. And there's the other one, the one that doesn't throw. It's still pretty. It's still a white candle, but it just doesn't really smell. But that one does. And so they sent me that completely free, and I wouldn't have done that if y'all hadn't suggested it. So thank you so much. I will see you soon. Please wish Rory a happy puppyversary. Here, I can't believe she's not going to make an appearance. Hang on. Roro! Roro! Come here. She's gotten lots of treats today. Come here. You gotta say hi to friends. Come here. Come here. Oh. I'm 5. Mommy adopted me 5 years ago today. I don't know what's going on, but I'm getting lots of love. Yeah. I do not know what I would do without this thing, y'all. She is my heart. Bye. Is your puppy mess? Is your puppy dog mess? What? What's it need? What's it want? You know, I love you too. What's it need? What? What's your puppy need? You go outside? Pardon.